Information is power, do you agree? Because if you hold the truth in your hands, then you're untouchable. Or at least that's what used to happen. Nowadays, it feels as if holding the truth puts a target on your back. Presenting data puts a target on your back. And it's honestly sad to see that our country doesn't seem quite as welcoming to opinions and research quite like it used to be. What am I talking about? The narrative when it comes to C19 is that you can't refute what the powers that be have already put out onto the airwaves. Refuting any fact that they have already released would mean a quick and decisive ban. Either that or your video gets taken down, you're suppressed, it's impossible to search for your content. But what makes it worse is that the deep state seems to be zeroing in on people that may bring harm to their agenda, or anyone that can take President Biden's spot as the Democratic nominee for 2024. Why am I saying this? Were you guys aware that Tucker Carlson was removed from Fox shortly after this?
So you are, of course, being dismissed as a vaccine nut, but watching your announcement today, it wasn't about pharma even so much as it was about America's place in the world and what do we do about it.
Does that seem a little bit odd to you? Now, while I'm at it, have you noticed that, again, the narrative for our economy is that it continues to go up while banks continue to drop down? It's like I tell you all about these stores closing and thousands of layoffs, and suddenly many of my subscribers won't see my videos. It's weird, isn't it? Now, I'm also going to be talking about how AI will take your jobs, but that's another no-no too. Can't talk about that. I don't know. I would just rather give you guys the truth. So let's get down to the facts that I have prepared for you guys today. Now, we're entering this time in history where a conspiracy theorist isn't some guy or girl with a tinfoil hat in their mom's basement. It's actually somebody who brings in data, who brings receipts, and has information to back up and corroborate their allegations. But at the end of the day, will still be called a conspiracy theorist because their views don't necessarily line up and fit in with the narrative or the mold that we're all supposed to fit into. It's kind of wild when you think about it. Now, to be honest, to be dubbed a conspiracy theorist is a badge of honor for some of us, especially, and this is the important part here, if we bring in real world data that is quantifiable. Now, I guess that explains this tweet from presidential hopeful Robert Kennedy Jr. Quote, 47 USC 315 makes it illegal for TV networks to censor presidential candidates, but Thursday, ABC showed its contempt for the law, democracy, and its audience by cutting most of the content of my interview with host Lindsay Davis, leaving only cherry-picked snippets and a defamatory disclaimer. Offering no evidence, at ABC justified this act of censorship by falsely asserting that I made false claims. In truth, Davis engaged me in a lively, informative, and mutually respectful debate on the government's C19 countermeasures. I'm happy to supply citations to support every statement that I made during this exchange. I'm certain that ABC's decision to censor me came as a shock to Lindsay as well. Instead of journalism, the public saw a hatchet job. Instead of information, they got defamation and unsheathed pharma propaganda. Americans deserve to hear the full interview so that they can make up their own minds. How can a democracy function without a free and unbiased press? As president, I will free FCC from its corporate captors and force the agency to follow the law by revoking the licenses of networks that put the mercantile ambitions of advertisers ahead of the public interest. End quote. And now you're probably wondering, why did all this happen? So they had him do an interview, and sources claim that ABC had to cut out huge chunks of the interview as he was talking about the C19 virus. It got so bad for them that ABC had to have this read on the air.
We should note that during our conversation, Kennedy made false claims about the COVID-19 vaccines. Data shows that the COVID-19 vaccines prevented millions of hospitalizations and deaths from the disease. He also made misleading claims about the relationship between vaccination and autism. Research shows that vaccines and the ingredients used for the vaccines do not cause autism, including multiple studies involving more than 1 million children and major medical associations like the American Academy of Pediatrics and the advocacy group Autism Speaks. We've used our editorial judgment in not including extended portions of that exchange in our interview. We thank Mr. Kennedy for the conversation.
Interesting. He also said this during the interview, and what do you know? They included this in the final cut.
And my party also is becoming the party of war, the party of censorship.
So he means the Democratic Party, which makes sense since Kim Iverson also got censored due to a Kennedy interview. Here's what she said on her Twitter account. Quote, today, I got a strike on my @YouTube channel for my interview back in February with @Robert Kennedy Jr. about C19. The powers that be are on an intense censorship campaign to protect @POTUS now that RFK Jr. is polling at 19% with Biden voters and climbing. End quote. So what are your thoughts on this. Now, I'm not confirming that this is due to Kennedy actually gaining traction with Democratic voters, although it really does make you think, doesn't it? Do you guys think that the president is worried about RFK Jr.? Or should Kennedy be censored for talking about C-19 as he does? And now here's the bigger question. Should the truth be hidden from the people if it's bad news? It's like mainstream media is working overtime to keep facts away from the people. And I'll probably get another comment talking about doom and gloom, but what good would a lie do for me? What good would a lie do for you? Will it help you prepare? Of course not. Now, if I told you that companies and their shares are dropping because of AI, will you think about your job security? Look at this. Chegg shares dropped by more than 40%, and they're blaming ChatGPT for killing their business. So here's what their CEO Dan Rosenwig said in a recent earnings call. Quote, in the first part of the year, we saw no noticeable impact from ChatGPT on our new account growth, and we were meeting expectations on new signup. However, since March, we saw a significant spike in student interest in ChatGPT. We now believe it's having an impact on our new customer growth rate, end quote. Chegg, for those who might not be familiar with it, it's a company that provides online tutoring and homework assistance. Since AI is getting into that as well, companies like Chegg, they're getting dragged. And it's not just them, although the next company is filing for bankruptcy once again due to our strong economy. Hope you guys know that I can be a little bit of a sarcastic guy. So Tuesday Morning is closing all of their stores and going out of business, making it the second major US home goods retailer to go down recently. Bed Bath & Beyond, they took the first spot on that one.
Storage bin and hampers for your dorm room. I am on it. And since it's 20% off, Mama gets something for herself.
For the house?
For the house.
For the house?
For the house.
For the...
For the house.
Hi, we just started our registry online, and we were just wondering, what is this?
Oh, this is called offline shopping.
What did you think?
I'll take everything.
Great. I'll ring you up in 40 minutes when we open again.
And you know what? Just to show you guys how bad things are, because I know that there's going to be at least one person commenting that I'm far too negative. But just to show you how bad it is, Subway that makes, decent sandwiches, they're now closing more of their stores. Since 2022, they've closed more than 500 stores in our country. Now, you might like or maybe not like their food, but this is just another sign of the times. Now, if you're seeing all these updates and you're not thinking to yourself, hey, maybe things are actually worse than they seem, then I don't know what to tell you. Now, at the end of the day, your word matters. And I would love to hear you guys' thoughts in the comment section below. And while you guys are down there, why don't you go ahead and check out the description as well. There's a lot of opportunities in there for you guys, starting with precious metals, especially gold. But if you want to take it up a notch, feel free to drop me some comments down below. We can connect there. We could talk about multiple streams of income, how it is possible with side hustles and small businesses to boost your income and to create additional sources of income. Or maybe you want to become an investor. Maybe you want to talk about real estate or the stock market, how to get started as a beginner. Financial freedom is attainable, guys. We just got to take the first step. Now, before I wrap things up, don't forget to like and share this video and subscribe for your daily dose of the truth. Appreciate you guys watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.